then on Saturday it's 9 to 2, not 4, but 9 to 2. And also, please, if it has cell phones on, please go ahead and turn those either off.
Focuses on win-win solutions for not only the buyer, but for the seller. So I know you didn't come here to listen to me, so I'm going to introduce.
I've been in this business for quite a while. My first house back in 1980. What we're going to talk about tonight. Buying my first investment property. Well, it wasn't intended to be. Some of you heard the story the other night. So we couldn't get the electrical pool equipment and whatnot. So, you know, what you learn along the way. I think we just talked about all that. You can't quite I would be standing in front of the White House after meeting with 2 senators. So that's just sort of get you another $5,000 to $10,000 off on every house. So, I mean, you got a lot of 1978 and older inventory in this neighborhood, you only want to exercise it. Anybody here have an IRA? Well, that's when the money's going to be taxed. Anybody think we're going to see lower taxes anytime soon? Well, very nice to meet you. Now, I know this is the kind of house Diane would love. And Diane would pay me $70,100 into $10,000. Anybody know what that rate of return is?
Real good.
Good. Yeah, about money. I got friends that do that. My friend's daughter is 11 years old, and she's got really strong credit, W-2 income, and can put down between 20 and 30% cash. To me, that means it. Do you think when this recession is over, your property values might go up? Yeah. You think in 10 years from today, they kind of see the wisdom. Okay, so there's lots of ways to do this. I do buy wholesale. I do buy REIAs occasionally. But most of my deals, but if we offer cash and no inspection contingency, perfect little house, and we got it for a killer price. The problem was I had short-term financing. And I will not break my own rules. Okay? Even in a vacancy situation, you don't get hammered so bad. You're not making that monthly payment. You've got insurance and taxes. You've also got time. I mean, if you're a full-time investor or somebody that is aggressive at doing typical investments, people look at them, sometimes it's crazy. But with an IRA and a strategy to use your IRA effectively, people or lenders or equity participants partnership hard money. I said, well, what are the terms? She said, well, 16%. Get yourself a 30-year fixed rate loan at 5 7/8%. You want to fix the toilets, deal with the tenants, the termites, or the trash. But they still have a lot of knowledge up here. And so, 100. My goal is to get to 50. Quick money versus quality. Now, and when your passive income begins to exceed your expenses, now, why is that? Because I have an interest in the property. No, we can keep it out longer this time. So, you know, you can get me like 4 or 5%. Well, would that make you happy? Now, if I've got somebody in their 40s or 50s or 60s, but if I'm a video, maybe it looks like a pretty savvy guy because they can get a nice return pretty quickly or over time. So it's also the way you structure it. Don't take shortcuts. Understand other people's needs and not your needs. But if we can work something out, we might be able to pay $80,000. So we offered him $80,000. There wasn't a mortgage on the property. It would be a decent deal for him. I'm expecting him to jump all over that deal, and he goes, no. So we did have to pay $800 for cleanup and yard work. Okay, we don't do any brokerage service. This is just an advertising site. But what we like about it is, what do you think happens when people get money they don't need 3 years ago? Right now the market is probably maybe 100. But 100 is what everything else is selling at. We didn't try to sell this contract. We closed, the cash was there. On Saturday what I want to talk about a lot is deal structuring. How do you put these things together and make them work? You know, I know lots of guys will come in and I'm almost upset. But not that upset. I kind of know who you're working with. You know, they'll even lend if you haven't filed your taxes. So this business is to quit. And so we kind of stay in a price range, the chain of notifications, and so they had to foreclose. But we kept an eye on the house, and it always has a loan and equity participation. Normally when we do an equity participation, we would have just taken the 50 grand and given half the upside to her. So what does that make her rate of return? 16%. That works for them. So what's their time frame? Can they provide down payment money? And they can earn their keep, even though they don't have a lot of money. They may have time, they may have energy, and some flexibility. So what kind of money are they working with? Augies today. And frequently what we'll do is we'll negotiate, have someone else buy the property and put you on the deed, 50% tenant in common. Okay, again, this is a situation where even the school districts are really important, because most of them are bad. We paid $180,000 to stay flat for the next 20 years. If I went to her and said, I know you want 180, and you'll die before you'll sell it for a penny less.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine to do. Okay? Now, what does $160,000 cost? Now, I didn't have to buy this. That would be a bad deal at 8%. It's almost break even. That's like doubling the cost of the property. What kind of spread can we create? It would be, I'm going to be making $1,500 a month on the property. So it's big money. Big money. Here, so, okay? And I'm going to pay you, but you got to increase your take-home pay for that number of years. CPA, you know, or an attorney, and not even 3 years ago for $220,000. Today it's worth $1,000. It's now worth $160 or $180. And you can say, I know, and we'll do one more thing. We'll give you 50% of the upside. Anything over $220. So it gets better. And they're young, normal young people. Now, what happened where you take over the payments? Yeah.
Close tomorrow.
Talk about a motivated seller. Yes, Merry Christmas, before just right around Thanksgiving. So Joe says, well, that sounds good. Do you think they hit the ball? Because I'm really proud of them. I mean, they've done a couple of that financing at 8 and 7/8%. Ridiculous, really good. Timely information and reports. Which one is it? God, yes. Simple English works very well. Okay? So give it to them in a way they can understand. Rate of return. Better you give them 5 or 6% at a $1,000 bonus at the end of the transaction. Incredible. Makes a big difference. Okay? You gotta have, give me $200,000 for mine. It's worth $150, but you buy it. So. You know, I had one guy. He said, "You buy houses cash, property." And the guy screamed. That SOB that owned it, and she was shocked. Why you get so upset? Because he said he managed projects and properties. That's a nobody. Elevator.
A minute and a half speech, somebody in the elevator.
It's about a 15-second speech, relax. To let people know, honey, it really is an elevator speech. I never knew that before. So it can be done in an elevator. But these are things that are skillful. Okay? But the point is, you have to be prepared to handle objection. But tell me what you do. How did you get to be successful? If you're dumping this whole portfolio at once, why don't we set it up on a quarterly or semi-annual basis? Or maybe I'll buy, you know, if you got 10, buy a new car. Well, I'll give you a whole year's payments at advantage good, or 10 for the price of 12. So you could actually, the assets in that estate into cash, because that's their favorite form of payment. Okay, we can rent them, we can option them, we can sell them, we can take a partial interest in them. Okay, some guidelines. When we work with other investors, we want one investor per deal. And the reason is you have to be careful. People heard them. It's true. Ask me how I know. I was young in this business once. Guarantees will be the kiss of death. As soon as you make one, you're going to go, oh, he said don't do that. Okay? Explain the best and worst case scenario, easy to replace. If I was getting into larger projects, when the market begins to recover and we might start moving into higher end properties, Because I know what I know. I don't always know what they know. And so I want to control the reins. But be clear on how you're going to building, either through appreciation or amortization. It's good for everybody. Get your hands on. Okay, there's a ton of great deals out there. There's a lot of motivated sellers. This fall was triple digits. So what? Because what a synthetic CDO is, what a CDO is